Hello and welcome to the Sisters for Fitness Wellness Show. I'm Stephanie Gaines-Bryant. Happy holidays to everyone. And we have a special guest today. We had him on last year and we decided to bring him back again. Brian Alejandro Scott, and he is an entertainer. And welcome, Brian. How are you?
I'm doing well, thank you.
So, Brian, it's been an exciting year for you. So let's start out by talking about you're not only just Brian Alejandro Scott now, you are Knight Brian, or how do I say that?
Okay, so actually, I got bestowed an appointment of being a lord. So now I'm Lord Brian,
Lord.
and I it was interesting. Someone bestowed it upon me. So being British, I'm a citizen and still a citizen. This person has seen the work I've done over the years and surprised me with that when I went back to England earlier this year. So actually, you may not be able to see it, but that's the
So
registration.
how did that come about? Were you visiting England, or how did that come about?
Well, I was born in England, so I was visiting friends, and but I would just this time I went to Birmingham. Here we say Birmingham, but there you have they know if you're American if you say Birmingham, but it's Birmingham, and that's where all this occurred, and that's the west side of England, closer to Wales, sort of. And I was visiting mates there, and they surprised me, and I gave the person wants to remain anonymous, but yeah, it was quite. I was surprised. I was surprised.
So tell us about the body of work that they based this on.
Well, I had a children's dance company for 18 years. It was called the Experimental Dance Company, and that was based on a Catherine Dunham technique of dance, which I learned from Miss Joan Peters, who unfortunately just passed away on Sunday. She was an original member of the Alvin Ailey Dance Company. And that's one aspect. Then my field of speech and language pathology as a bilingual speech and language pathologist and language Spanish, because my mother's from Panama, I was able to help a lot of kids. I focused on reading. I noticed that literature, reading skills are usually the things that keep young minorities back, especially males and Latinos. So I focused the speech therapy to their needs, something that they can use so that when they try to go for a job interview, they can read their application and, feel good about themselves.
As we talked last year, you and I know each other from college. We went to Hampton together.
Yes.
And one of the most wonderful, you were always such just an incredible dancer. And you decided to pursue the entertainment part of your career after your career in education. So what made you, I've asked you before, what made you, for us folks over 50, some of us over 60, how did you decide, hey, I'm just gonna go for this after all these years?
Well, I've had about 5 careers. When I left Hampton, I was recruited for International Paper Company. Then they were moving to Tennessee. So then I wanted to stay in New York. Obviously, I live in the East Village. And then I worked as a case manager for elderly people. Then I worked as a lead poisoning specialist, testing young children for lead poisoning. And then I got the job as a speech and language pathologist. And it was very easy because Hampton had prepared me. So all the courses they required, I had already taken. And then much later, I went to NYU for my master's in speech pathology. But I was still dancing off Broadway and still had the main full-time job. And what made me change was because I wanted to focus a little bit more on myself after having given so much to everybody else. But it doesn't mean I'm not going to still give. It's just that we only have a certain time on earth, and you want to make sure that you give something back, but you also have to make sure that you enjoy living life. So you can keep on giving, but you have to give to yourself too.
Tell me, how has this year been for you? We're kind of getting past the whole COVID era. What has this year been like for you when it comes to performing and doing what you love to do best?
It actually was a little bit tricky because in last December, I had to get a left hip replacement. And that everything's fine now, like the Bionic Man. But I wasn't able to go out and sing at venues because of the COVID. But I mean, they have these covers they put on the mic, but I think that's one aspect. But being around people, you know, when you're singing, sometimes saliva does come out, not like you're spitting at people, but you can see it sometimes when you see live shows, and it's unavoidable. So the damper was to go out and perform as much, but I just stayed home and worked on learning new songs.
Very good. So, what we're going to do is I'm going to have you do some performing for the holiday season. By the way, how are you going to celebrate the holiday season this year?
Well, my family's all over the place, so I'm just gonna probably celebrate with friends, and I decorated the hallway in my apartment. I mean, it's a little bit crazy because I'm in the middle of I have to get a tree later, and I have to take the things down. When you live in an apartment, it's very different from a house, so you have to be very careful where you put things and find them. So I'm gonna celebrate probably with a few neighbors, and that's it. And the memories that I had growing up in London and also in Queens when we moved here, and remembering the good times I had with my family.
Very good. So, what are you going to start us off with?
Well, this was tricky, but I think that everyone loves Nat King Cole, and it's hard to sing a song that someone has their signature on it. So, as an artist, you sometimes try to make it your own. So let's see if I'm able to accomplish that today.
Well, is he one of your favorites?
I admired him, yes. Very difficult for a man of color during the time when he was doing his thing, and he was super talented. He played the piano, I believe, some other instruments. He's one of my favorites. Yeah, I can. And Johnny Mathis. And Johnny Mathis has a much higher voice than I do. He's another favorite of mine. So I like his Christmas music, and yeah, I like him as well. So yeah, and well, Sammy Davis is actually the one for me, and Frank Sinatra. So that group of people, that Rat Pack, and that's what I had 2 sold out shows this year. And if anyone's listening, they wanted to see me on YouTube, you can look on Lord Brian Alejandro, and you'll find me on YouTube.
All
So
right,
I'd like.
so let's get started with our song.
All right.
And of course, this is a Christmas classic. My sister says he starts off Thanksgiving and he plays that song all day, every day until Christmas. So it's a favorite of mine as well.
I'm glad. Chestnuts roasting on an open fire, Jack Frost nipping at your nose, Yuletide carols being sung by a choir, and folks dressed up like Eskimos. Everybody knows a turkey and some mistletoe helps to make the season bright. Tiny tots with their eyes all aglow find it hard to sleep tonight. They know that Santa's on his way. He's loaded lots of toys and goodies on his sleigh, and every mother's child is gonna spy to see if reindeers really know how to fly. And so I'm offering this kids from 1 to 92. Although it's been said many times, many ways, Merry Christmas to you. And so I'm offering this simple phrase to kids from 1 to 92. Although it's been said many times, many ways, Merry Christmas, Merry Christmas to you.
Very good, Brian Alejandro Scott. Brian, you mentioned that you had 2 sold out shows this year. Can you tell me, how do you design the shows? How do you put the shows together and decide what you're going to sing, what you're not going to sing? How are you influenced to design your show to reach a particular audience?
That's a great question, because my theme is Vegas, and I talk about some of the people I met along the way, and it's an interesting show, so I don't really give things away, but each song is based upon a certain artist, like Sammy Davis, Frank Sinatra, Miss Gloria Lynn, who was my mentor and vocal coach and friend, and Julie London. So they're telling a story about how things went when I was in Las Vegas. So it's an it's filled with a lot of stories, and you have to go with it, So that's how I do it, and I just pick the songs that fit the moment of what I'm saying, because I'm a little bit comedic. May not get that now, it doesn't come across, but I am. I can't be funny, and so people enjoy the whole thing. So it's not just singing; it's comedy and facts and fiction, and it's a wonderful evening.
Tell me some of the most interesting things that have happened to you along the journey that has shaped how you sing, how you perform.
I think I always liked Sammy Davis. I always liked his style, so I sing a lot of his songs. Sammy started as a child, a young child, so I have a lot of catching up to do. He also has he sings more in F, so he sings higher, but so some things I have to change around. But I met other celebrities as well who aren't singers, like Joan Collins, and that was interesting. I met Natalie Cole, and there is a song that I don't think I'm going to sing it today, but she's someone I met, and I told her my favorite song was Inseparable. I said, I wish I could sing it, and she said,
wow. That was one of because I think that was out when you and I were in school. That was one of my absolute favorite songs of hers, was Inseparable. It's not one of her most popular, but that is absolutely one of my favorite songs of hers.
Well, I could sing it for you if you like,
All right, if you insist.
Inseparable. That's how we'll always be, inseparable. Just you and me. It's so wonderful to know you'll always be around. to me. Incredible. You bring out the magic in me with your style of love. Inseparable. Yes, we are. We're like a flower to a tree, like words to a melody of love. And there's no way we can break up, no words that can make us go our thing. We're just inseparable. That's how it is, inseparable for the rest of our years. It's so wonderful to know you'll always be around.
Very good. Very good. I like the spin you put on that. I absolutely love the spin you put on that. So we've gone through the whole Cole family. Natalie Cole, Nat King Cole. We've gone through the whole 9 yards. You said that some of the people that you have been influenced by are not necessarily singers. You were talking about some actors, for example, Joan Collins, who we all know from that incredible series Dynasty. How did you come across Joan Collins?
It's interesting because I actually, she had a show in New York. And she found out, of course I approached her and I was dressed in my usual elegant style. And I said, oh, I'm from, Tottenham. Now, first of all, Tottenham is known for Tottenham Hotspurs. And it was a very, very different area that she grew up in. It was Paddington, even though I stayed in Paddington when I went back earlier this year. And I approached her, I had some flowers, and we started talking. She signed a picture somewhere on my wall. And and that's how that happened. I met her also in London at once. So, and she sort of remembered me because I'm kind of unforgettable. So that's how that went. There's so many people on my walls there. I can talk about Michelle Lee from Knots Landing. I met her. She had a show in New York, and it's a long story. You don't have time to hear it. But what happened was I was in Italy. And I met a woman who looks like Michelle Lee, and it just so happened that that woman was the best friend of Michelle Lee's sister. And that's how I met Michelle Lee.
Well, what is your favorite place to perform? Do you prefer Vegas? Do you prefer New York? What is your favorite place to perform?
Okay, so because of the style of music that I sing, I prefer, Vegas is great. Vegas is better in a way, because there's a lot more opportunities. I like New York, of course, but I prefer small places. Couldn't fill a stadium, obviously, because I'm not that known. I'm known in certain circles, but I think you would lose some of the intimacy of when I'm singing, on a stage. It's different because, let's say the style of Shaka Khan, that could work because she has a body of music that goes from way back to Rufus and Shaka Khan. So, and that's a big concert, whereas mine is more like crooning and singing love songs and making love to the audience.
Well, I was going to say, let's make love. No, I meant to say, let's sing another. Let's hear some more of your body of work.
I had something for you. I got so involved with your wonderful questions. I know what it is. All right, so, I was doing my Vegas thing once, and I was influenced by Sammy and Frank. And this song also was one of the first songs I started working with. And I think it's an inspirational song, and you'll enjoy it. I know you will.
Oh, absolutely.
Okay. Sorry.
And by the way, Brian and I are about to celebrate 40 years since
I know.
graduation from Hampton.
All right. I think we got it. I'm gonna live till I die. I'm gonna laugh instead of cry. I'm gonna take the town and turn it upside down. I'm gonna live until I die. They're gonna say, what a guy. I'm gonna play for the sky. Ain't gonna miss a thing. I'm gonna have my fling. I'm gonna live until I die. The blues I lay low, I'll make them stay low. They'll never trail over my head. I'll be a devil till I'm an angel, but unto then, hallelujah, gonna dance, I'm gonna fly, I'll take a chance, riding high, before my number's up, I'm gonna fill my cup, I'm gonna live until I die. The blues, I lay low, I'll make them stay low, they'll never trail over my head. I'll be a devil till I'm an angel, but unto man, hallelujah, gonna dance, gonna fly, I'll take a chance, riding high, before my number's up, I'm gonna fill my cup. I'm gonna live until I die.
Very good, very good. So let's talk about what do you have planned for 2023? What's in store for this coming year?
Well, I'm hoping that a friend, actually, a fellow Hamptonian, has an idea. I want to give more back, especially to citizens, senior citizens, and that's a part that I feel passionate about because I think when old people get older, our society kind of writes them off. So it would be nice to maybe go and sing at some of their homes or wherever they are and remind them of all this music that my parents used to listen to or I grew up with. That's one. I'm supposed to maybe have 4 shows this season. So I'm working with a musical director to do that. And I sort of take it one day at a time. I have some goals. I write them down and I try to achieve them. And I'm having actually some people over Saturday for my birthday, and I'll probably give them a mini show. So that's always fun.
So you've got a birthday coming up.
I do, yeah. It's going to be it's actually on the 11th, but that's Sunday. So I'm going to have them over on Saturday, which is the 10th.
It sounds right that you would be a Christmas child. So, with all that person, it sounds just about right that you would be born around the Christmas holiday season.
I love it. I love everything about Christmas. And I just love that I think people are a little bit nicer to each other. And I get excited, because my birthday's coming up, even though, it's a different feeling from when you're 16 or 10, but you're just so glad to still be here, especially after all the things we've been going through. So I consider myself, every day I wake up, I'm really saying, okay, I have another chance to help change the world, make it a better place. So
What I'd like you to do, we've got about 2.5 minutes left. I'd like you to take us out in song.
Okay. That old black magic has me in its spell. That old black magic that you weave so well. Those icy fingers up and down my spine. That same old witchcraft when your eyes meet I feel inside, and then that elevator starts its ride. Down and down I go, round and round I go, like a leaf that's caught in a tide. I should stay away, but what do? I hear your name, and I'm aflame with such burning desire that only your kiss can put out that fire. You're the one that I have waited for. You're the mate that fate had me created for. And every time you lift me mine, darling, down, down, down I go, round, round, round I go, like a leaf that's caught in a tide. I should stay away, but what do? I hear your name, and I'm aflame with such burning desire that only your kiss can put out that fire. You're the love I'm waiting for. You're the mate that fate had me created for. And every time your lips meet mine, darling, down, down, down I go, round, 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 round I go, in a spin. I'm loving the spin that I'm in, under that old black magic core. Hey, you got a phone number or something? Old black magic core. Wait a minute, there's too many numbers to be a real number. Hey, old magic off. Well, I'm in the penthouse room, number 1, baby. Under that old black magic of love.
Brian Alejandro Scott, thank you so much for joining us on the Sisters for Fitness Wellness Show. I'm Stephanie Gaines-Bryant. Have a great holiday.
You too, and thank you very much for having me.
Thank you.